This is Sound Off 60, Southwest Louisiana's premier sports show.
Coaching staff was just like, you need to go through the same routine you were going through in the minor leagues. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Our skipper actually moved me up to the 2-hole in the order in the middle of that and said, hey, you're our guy, you're going to play, and we believe in you. And then got a few hits, started believing in myself.
Julio's coming back. Oh, forget it. Forget it. The game's over. Oh, Julio.
Sound Off 60. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
Big show, and for many reasons. Welcome, gentlemen, back for another hour of Sound Off 60. Y'all ready?
We ready.
Big show.
Got a lot.
Big show. A lot to cover.
Super Bowl weekend coming up.
Super Bowl week. SB 52 from warm and sunny Minneapolis. The Twin Cities. Boy, they're going to be loving it
warm
up
and
there.
sunny, huh? Okay.
Holy smokes. I heard it was going to be like 4 degrees today.
You shouldn't have a Super Bowl anywhere there's not palm trees.
I agree.
Except maybe New Orleans.
I agree. Well,
I agree.
There's a few on Canal Street, but
Well,
I know
totally
where you're
agree
going.
with
I know
that,
where you're
Scooter.
going. Boy, the lineup is strong tonight, boys and girls. You need to hang around. McNeese State University President Dr. Darrell Burkell will make his second appearance on Sound Off 60 since becoming the university president.
We had him on when he became
timing.
president.
Yes, good timing. We've got a lot of subjects to talk to him about, along with this national story that is percolating that will get even larger, involving sexual abuse at Michigan State. We'll talk to him about some of the processes that McNeese State has in place to protect against things like that. We'll get into Michigan State's dilemma, if you want to call it that. It can be called many things.
It's going to be
dilemma. A little bit later on in the show. Super Bowl 52, our thoughts and stuff like that. So let's kick it off.
Where are we going?
Patriots are obviously 5.5 to 6 point. I think it will kind of change with the Vegas wise guys as we get closer. And it should be.
Wise guys.
Well, we are, but we're not the Vegas wise guys. They know how to set the spread. I think whatever New England does, I think this is going to be a close game within 3 points late. I really do. I think it's going to be a great game.
I may have to agree with that, Rick, because you know what? Tom Brady's such a great quarterback, just a good guy, just all-time best. But the one thing that he's had,
I like that.
The one thing he's had a problem with,
on my good side.
The one thing he's had a problem with, Rick, is the pass rush. And they have got to do, and let me tell you something, the Eagles can come and get you.
Fletcher Cox is a beast.
They can come and get you. So if they can find a way to take that away, I think Tom Brady going to air it out. But if they can't keep Fletcher off of him, it's going to be a long day.
Well, I don't disagree, but I just think the reason you give the Eagles hope, the Jaguars almost beat them. The Patriots are probably going to win another Super Bowl without nearly one of their best teams.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
And we'll get into that in the second segment because there's a couple of things I want to throw out about Super Bowl 52. That'll be fun, and we'll kick that around. Okay. Hall of Fame news. We got two Hall of Fames to talk about. Let's go with yours first. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and if I don't get the
we have a
vernacular
superstar
correct,
celebrity.
Correct me as you normally
I mean, we got to title him
right.
differently than what we have been, Rick.
You have been, and
past.
Congratulations and kudos to you. 30-plus years in the business, maybe more. Is it reaching 40 yet?
Not quite.
Not quite. So we'll keep you younger than what we're gonna label you as. But the Natchitoches Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame has designated you with distinguished service and put you into the sports writers part of the Hall of Fame. Is that pretty much the best way of doing it?
I guess.
So you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Where's
For
the
sports
bell
writing.
when you need it.
I mean,
Holy
wow.
smokes!
I mean,
Congratulations.
Never
Good
thought
job.
I'd be
Good
in the
job.
Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame before you did.
I still have hope. I still have hope, Scooter.
Are you holding your breath?
The one thing that gets me with Scooter is that Scooter's been at this for a while, and Scooter has written some articles that have just been outstanding, and a large number of them back in the 80s were about yours truly. So I knew
it would end up being about him.
You have them all in your office.
I have
on the
to
wall?
say, part of why he's in it has to do with some articles that he probably have written about me.
I doubt that very seriously.
As an athlete there at LSU.
It's Distinguished
and at Lake Charles
Service
South. No,
Award.
Scooter's done a heck of a job,
No,
man.
congratulations. What does
Really?
it mean? What does it mean personally and professionally to you?
Well, it's the epitome. I mean, I've got a lot of plaques, but this will be the biggest.
Yeah.
This will be the best one. You're
Yeah.
up there with all the athletes getting inducted. And
That's pretty cool, Scooter. It is, man.
I promise you, when
That's
I left
pretty cool.
Spring Hill High School, nobody expected to ever see my ass in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
No, I doubt that very seriously. And in all seriousness,
Spring Hill.
look, I catch a lot of flack.
We
on
give
this-
him a hard time.
No, I do on
But
this
well
panel,
deserving.
Not so much from
Well
him, but from
deserving,
you.
though, man.
I am a major supporter of the estate of media.
Yes.
And in my circles and in my social settings, and I'm
Yes.
always defending sports media, news media. You know, there's an old quote, and maybe you might know it, from Thomas Jefferson. We've got to have Daryl Burkell on here. He's a PhD. Something to the effect of the former president, what was he, the second or third? Second president of the United States.
Third.
I would rather
Third.
a country with newspapers, I'm paraphrasing the quote, than a country with government. My point is, I'm getting to the
He said
point.
he had to choose.
If he had to choose.
Yeah.
But I think sports writers and sportscasters should be recognized in any Hall of Fame, especially when it comes to sports coverage. We're not the enemy. We have to ask tough questions sometimes. But the media from the sporting angle is not the enemy. And do you agree with that? I hope so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always thought. I mean, in real world, Michigan State gets in the way.
Yeah.
But my approach has always been it ought to be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That for the most part, you're not covering the Nuremberg trial.
No, you're not. But you know, sometimes the heated fans, and Lord knows the Saints and LSU have a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's not always just fun. They
No,
take
it's
it
not.
to heart and very serious.
Yes, they
and
do.
you have to ask tough
Yes, they do.
questions. You know,
Yes,
you have
they
to
do.
ask tough
I mean,
questions.
and the thing is, granted, Scooter's got a tough job, but let me say this. Scooter is painting a picture for those of us that didn't either hear it or didn't see it, and we're going to take a judgment of what he writes to say this is what actually happened. So he's got a tough job, too, to try and get it right, if you know what I mean when I say that.
Okay.
And people can always
Just get it right, Hobbs. That's all we're asking for you, okay? Just
and
get
people
the damn story right.
sometimes
All right.
can always interpret it to be another way.
That's true.
That's the beauty of it. But
Well, look, how many times have Hobbs and I have sit here and we look at you and say, what damn game are you watching?
yeah, but I'm always right though.
yeah.
I'm always right. That's the
you
thing.
look
I'm
at it
always
from the
right.
player's perspective.
I'm always
All
right.
Bottom line, I learned to BS at an early age, and
You carried it on,
I've
huh?
been perfecting it ever since.
There you have.
No,
Congratulations.
you're good
again.
at what you do, Scooter.
But enough
Congratulations,
about
man.
me.
Yeah,
This is
the
uncomfortable.
Louisiana High School Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This is long overdue.
Long overdue. For
The-
two greats.
The late, great Max Calderera will
Yeah.
soon be inducted, I guess, this spring, along with Barb, legendary baseball coach, Glenn Caccini.
Glenn.
This, and you know, we don't have them on the show, but this is great honors for
It
those
is.
two gentlemen
It
as well.
is. From Southwest Louisiana. Hey.
Kind of caught us off guard. I will say that hanging around the office was that Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
It did catch us off
Look,
guard.
Max
Very
never
much.
won a state title, but just the
Yeah.
years of service
years.
and the players he affected while he was coach, after he retired, and then the outpouring of love and respect during the man's funeral. You know
Yeah.
him. We all knew him
Yeah.
personally, but
Yes.
and
Very
that's why I
much
said
so.
The late great Max Calder.
Very
and look,
much so.
Glenn Caccini, we have argued this, and I know we've debated on this panel. And I said, you know, when it comes to coaches in this part of the state,
Yeah.
when he goes,
Make that
he's going to
case.
be number one.
Baseball is it for him, Rick.
But I
Baseball
know, but
is
I'm
it.
talking about football, basketball. You know,
Baseball is it.
9, 10, 11 titles he may end up getting. You got to give him his due.
Yeah.
You know?
Rick, we've always said that. Am I correct in saying that?
You guys would nitpick me
No,
a little
man,
bit. Say,
we've
"Wait a
had
minute
him
now, you
on
gotta
the
separate
show
baseball
before,
from football."
and we've said, I mean, it's something that he's created that it's just been year after year after year.
gosh.
I mean, Rick, we have to give this man his
I
due.
have one question on Caccini going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What is the over/under on how long his
Holy
exception
Oh,
space?
Scooter, you would say that, huh?
He is never short of words.
Never, never.
He's never short of
I
words.
make it
It'll be
about
a good talk, I
25.
promise you, though.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
tell them,
It'll be-
you know, hold it to, like when I do mine,
Yeah.
I think it's 3 or 4 minutes, something like that.
It
I'm
should be
sure
longer.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll blow right through a half hour.
It should be longer.
Anyway, congratulations.
Yes,
Mr.
big
Hobbs, on
time.
that.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back after this short pause, we'll get our thoughts and our keys of the game for SB 52.
Yes.
Which is coming up. It's not only Brady now.
And
There's
you know,
some interesting
just
subplots to
to, and we'll talk about it more, but like Scooter would say, am I really feeling the excitement
Oh, I am.
about SB 52? Am I really feeling it? Okay.
We're coming back in about 2 minutes to Jack Daniels.
Fake
Stay right there.
excitement.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
All right, welcome back to the show. Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis. What is that? U.S. American Bank something or other stadium. That's where it's going to be held out in Minneapolis.
Yes.
All right. Patriots and Eagles. Look, the Eagles all along were considered the cream of the crop in the NFC side.
But we're supposed to get there after losing Carson Wentz.
Exactly. I mean, look, they won
exactly
2
right.
playoff games after being underdog in the Falcons.
At home?
Yeah.
At home,
Yeah.
underdog. Primarily because of the question marks around quarterback Nick Foles. So let's start there. This is a guy that's been around the league 8, 9 years.
He's traveled a little bit.
He's been a starter
he's traveled.
in several places. But when you stack it up against Tom Brady, the greatest of all time,
You know, when they
there's really
go
no
through
comparison.
the position by position, who's got the edge at
Who's got the edge?
Yeah.
Look, and it's a huge edge.
And that's going
It's
to
a
be
huge
one that's
edge.
going to determine probably the game. Let me ask this, Rick. Even though you've got Tom Brady, would you look at it different if you had Carson?
I would,
quarterback?
in a sense that look, Carson Wentz, second-year player,
Hell of a player.
but
I mean,
very
give him his
mature, and
Yeah.
but he was able to stretch plays and make plays with his legs.
Sometimes that can win ball games.
And
for you,
look,
Rick.
he's a good-sized man. When
6'6",
he ran,
he's big.
he ran with
He's big.
veracity. So yeah, I think it would be. Well, no, Brady would. Still, there's no comparison.
Well, the game has got to play itself out. But having him at quarterback, do you feel like you've got a better chance?
Yeah.
But that's
But
that's
Foles
that's what
had
the
a
punters
great
are saying.
game. Had a great game
he
against
had,
Minnesota.
But people know how to get to him.
Well-
People have tried all year long to get to Carson, and this boy's just made
I mean,
plays.
what, close to 30 touchdowns,
yeah.
6 or 7 picks. Had a great year until he had the ACL injury. Look, Philly's defense against Brady and Belichick and all the movement and a solid offensive line. Not stellar.
No,
you
but
know,
solid.
man for man,
Yeah.
but solid. They know how to protect Brady, and he's like Breeze. He's like Breeze. He makes that slight movement here or there up in the pocket to buy him that
That's from experience.
half second.
Let me go back to a point that Scooter made. The New England
didn't know
Patriots is
I'd
in.
gotten
You
a
just
word
did,
in
yeah.
with you.
Mr. Hall of Famer, you just did. Scooter said that the New England Patriots are in the Hall of Fame, but not with one of their better teams.
Yes. they're in
Now
the
let me
Super
say
Bowl,
this:
yeah.
Then the Super Bowl.
Does it come down to who's got the better coaches? If you're going to look at this game, Rick, and say athletes-wise,
Yeah.
you know, New England doesn't have the athletes I think
Right.
the Eagles have with the young guys and stuff. But
Yeah.
does the coaching, putting people in certain positions, does that make a big difference?
How many
Rick,
Super
in a game
Bowls
like
has Doug
this, though?
Peterson been involved in?
You know, but that's my
None.
that's,
Louisiana guy.
that's kind of my saying.
Is he
Yeah,
really?
that's kind of my saying.
Doug Peterson?
He was from Monroe.
North Louisiana boy.
I did not know that.
North
A few
Louisiana
years
boy.
ago, he was
I-
coaching.
that's right.
at
That's
Calvary
okay.
Baptist.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like
I get him mixed
when
up
you-
with the other guy, Stan
I
Humphries.
know who you're talking about. And that's the thing, Rick. You know, how much credit should be given probably to Coach Bill Belichick for? I mean, Tom Brady's going to be
A lot of credit.
He's going to be the guy.
lot
He's
of
going to be the
credit.
face of the
Coaching
team.
staff.
But Belichick, man,
Yeah,
what is he
McDaniels.
doing, man? I mean, you know,
Patricia
not one
on
of your better
defense. No,
teams.
they got
And
it.
it's not that secondary, Rick. At
got
any
it
time,
all.
you can light them up. But they're smart. The play that they made to get them into Super Bowl,
Yeah.
off the fingertips.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know,
Look,
those
the
kind of
Patriots have
things.
it all. Your quick thoughts on the Super Bowl. What do you think?
Well, I just want to touch on what he just said first, though. I mean, does it occur to anybody that right now we may be looking at the best football coach in college history?
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you
Yeah.
who that is.
No, please
Yeah,
don't.
no, we don't have to
And
bring
we
the
may
name.
Say
be-
the name, get
We
you.
don't- Hey, I'm gonna say it. Nick Saban. Sorry.
Oh, he had to say it.
And the
We
best.
can't get through a show without him
Hey,
saying
Ricky,
Nick
look,
Saban.
man.
We cannot.
We had this
Better
guy.
than Bill Arsberger.
That's what gives me. No, he'll never beat Bill. I mean, in my heart. That's what gives me
Can I
nightmares.
finish?
Just
Let him finish.
we had him at LSU.
Get over
We
it.
had this man at
Jump in.
That
LSU.
is another
in.
story.
Jump in.
Is Bill Belichick the best in the NFL history.
Yeah.
Right now, and they're both wearing the country out.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Trying to figure him out.
When you're right,
Trying
you're right.
to figure him out. Yeah, you're right.
And look, I'm not a Patriot apologist. I'm
Yeah.
really not. Okay. Spygate, Deflategate.
Look, man, look.
All that had nothing to do with games on the field. Was it
Then
a
why
little
did they do it?
shenanigans?
Why did they do it? Yeah, that's the
if
question,
You're,
Steve.
if you're Belichick, who's just like Saban,
Yeah.
and leave no detail unturned,
Why do you do
why
it?
did they do it?
Why did you do
You
it?
can't prove to me that the balls were deflated. Okay?
We're gonna leave that.
I got nothing on
That's,
Spygate.
that's another show. That's
Okay?
another show. That's
You're
another
right.
show.
So it,
that's
it,
another
it
show.
makes no difference
But-
on the field. The man wins with preparation. He wins with his schemes, and he wins with talent.
But see, Rick,
he doesn't get there without
but-
Tom Brady. Let's not
But
go
see,
let's
Rick,
not go overboard. He
you-
doesn't get there without
no,
Tom Brady.
But real quick, now you're making me visualize something else. Now, when you talk about baseball, how does steroids play a part in pitchers when you've got to hit the ball or Barry Bonds? Just
Where
real
are you
quick.
going with this?
He's talking about Spygate. It didn't make a difference. It wouldn't have. Okay, doesn't Barry Bonds have to hit the ball regardless? We're talking, it's two different things, but think about the similarities, Rick. You're talking about
see no
steroids,
similarities.
and you're talking about a football being deflated.
You're talking about like cheating.
Yeah,
The-
it's
the macro
exactly
view
what
of
I'm talking
cheating,
about.
okay?
Yes. I mean, either way, Rick, I mean, it's got to happen. So I
Is he
kind
a
of agree
cheater?
with
Is
you to a
Belichick
degree.
a cheater? Is he a cheater?
That's what we're trying to
I'm
find
asking
out.
you, is he a cheater? All right, enough said. He's not a cheater. I'm just sorry. It doesn't
I'm
make a
just
difference.
saying, Rick.
You can't prove
But
to
I'm
me.
with Scooter, though. Why do you do it if you're that
NFL
good?
said he was.
If
He
you're
didn't
that
say he was a
good.
cheater. He did something against the
They
rules.
fined him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference in the games, though.
Okay, anyway, I shouldn't have brought that up. Anyway, I shouldn't have brought it up. Anyway,
I have a
look,
This is not.
I have a looser
This
interpretation.
is not holding.
I have a looser
This
interpretation.
is not holding.
I have a
This
loser-
is
Look, Rick.
some done
Well, let's-
purposely that is against the rules. That
Can't
is
prove
cheating.
to me. They proved it in court. They proved it in court that there was no evidence of Brady deflating the footballs.
he didn't
What
do it.
about
He didn't do it.
That's my point.
He didn't do it,
What
but
about
it was
the
done.
Spygate?
Let's move on.
Anyway,
All right.
anyway.
Let me say this.
All I'm saying is, if you're that good, you don't have to cheat. You don't
Can
have
we
to
get
cheat
back
if
to
you're
the
that
Super
good.
Bowl? Former Patriot LeGarrette Blount.
Yes.
All right. Is a member of the Eagles.
Yes, he
1
is.
year removed.
1 year.
He scored like 17, 18 touchdowns, and Belichick and the Patriots.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done with you.
Yeah.
This is a word out of the press is this guy's got an edge. He's
You
got
would.
a chip.
You would.
Yeah.
You would. I mean,
you know,
who would?
It's funny that
Yeah,
Blunt's
the
back in the Super Bowl.
Wouldn't.
The Patriots history.
He's a big man.
Yes, he is.
250.
The Patriots, I don't think, have ever been accused of hanging on to a player too
No.
long.
Too long.
That's their MO.
Some
They-
of them
get
they
rid
have,
of
Scooter.
players when they think there's any hint that they're usefulness.
Who- look.
They're very unsentimental.
But
you know.
But when you look at a person like Kevin Falk, whoever thought that he would have stayed around that
He
long?
was good though. He was effective and good.
Yes, but just
He was
for what he
probably
did,
the
he was a
perfect-
third down back. That's all he was.
That was probably the perfect system for
And I can,
Kevin.
and I can see that,
He
Scooter.
did
but
so many things. Keep in mind, Rob Gronkowski was not a part of Super Bowl 51.
No, he
in
was
the
hurt.
comeback. He wasn't playing. He was in
hurt.
the press box with that
was
elbow
hurt.
thing. Okay?
Yeah, he was hurt.
He will be playing in
But
this
you
game.
know, Rick,
he will be playing.
it just
in this
takes
game.
this much for him not to be in this game. You do know that, huh? This much, Rick.
Oh, now you're saying the
No, I'm
Eagles
just-
are going to
I'm
cheat
just-
and knock
no,
it
no. But think about it.
Well-
if you make contact with this guy, Scooter, don't you know it's going to be like done? He's done.
I don't know about all that.
He's
But
done?
Look. I think the running game,
I mean-
the running game of Philly, if they can get that running game
They
going
have
with
to.
Blunt and Jay Ajayi
If they
and
can
this
keep
guy
it balanced.
Corey Clement,
If they can just
if
keep
they
it
can get
balanced.
that to balance, I think this is going to be a good competitive game.
I
Keep in mind.
I don't disagree there.
Keep in mind, the Patriots, I can't cite you the numbers, but they've never won the Super Bowl in major blowouts.
No.
They've won it
Look,
two
look.
with Adam Vinatieri's leg, remember?
Let me tell you.
I mean, the comeback against the Falcons, they've
Yeah.
won
They all kind
close
of run
games.
together.
Close games.
But the thing is, Rick, and like what I think that the Jaguars realized is that the Patriots, they are a fourth quarter team.
Yes.
They're a second half team.
Right.
As a young team, you
And-
got to realize that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't shoot your best shot those first two
No,
quarters.
they
and think
didn't
that-
realize that.
Yes, and then now in the third and fourth quarter, it's like, we don't have anything left.
Yeah, we don't have anything
and these guys here just getting started.
All
So
right.
they got to be smart about that, Rick.
Maybe by the show end, we'll have our Super Bowl 52 predictions.
I've got mine,
All right,
but I'll
coming
give
up,
it then.
Michigan State is embroiled in a scandal beyond scandals when
It's
it comes
big.
to sexual abuse and
It's
domestic
big.
violence. It could
Wow.
be Penn State 2.0. We'll get into that big
It's bad.
story when we come back right here. Stay there.
Soundoff60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at La Berge Casino Resort. Check us out online at soundoff60tv.com.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solarsupply.
All right, welcome back, boys and girls. Let's get on this Michigan State story. You know, everybody has followed, I would think, and heard about the Larry Nassar,
Yes.
the former physician with Michigan. Let's say
For his current job, what his current job was, Rick.
he was a member of Michigan State's staff, okay? We'll call him a doctor. He had some fancy doctor
Team physician.
title. He was also team physician, if you will, or lead doctor for USA Gymnastics.
Yes.
But germane to this point that we're going to discuss, he was a member of Michigan State's staff. Okay?
Yes, he was.
For
Yes.
many, many years.
Yes.
Okay. So everybody knows the story and the tragedy and the case, upwards of 150 gymnasts or young ladies that he has been convicted of sexually abusing over 18, 20 years in the program. Convicted, sentenced to life in prison. Okay. Now, with that,
There's
then
really two stories.
there is.
There is.
There is.
There is.
That's the thing.
You're right. It's the Nassar story, and then the administration of Michigan State, what they knew, how they knew,
How much of it
why
they knew.
didn't they interview, and then of course now football is getting into it, and basketball.
Yeah.
And as the news media
That's when it
continues.
starts mattering.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no.
I don't
not
mean it
not
that
that it
way.
doesn't matter
Okay.
because this was a tragic
That's
story.
when
and
it wakes people up.
yeah, and the case of USA Gymnastics, who has to be involved in it, there's lawsuits. And this thing is so far-reaching. But for this conversation now, Mike D'Antonio, all right, now he's having to answer about charges against past football players, upwards to 16 of sexual charges. Allegations, let me say allegations. And basketball, 3 or 4 players, a former assistant coach left on the staff. Deals were cut, all this dirty stuff going on at Michigan State. The question, guys, and the president resigns. The athletic director resigns. Tom Izzo is facing a barrage of questions. D'Antonio, not yet, but he will, okay?
Yeah.
Well, he has.
He has.
He's
It's
been
starting already.
defiant as far as stepping down so
Yeah.
far.
Is this
Rick,
Penn State revisited? Is it that big?
Here's the thing. And when Penn State happened, I wrote a bunch of columns about it. To me, the NCAA way overstepped its bounds
Yes.
there.
Yes.
That was, for the most part, a legal matter, and a lot of people went to jail right where
Yeah.
they belong.
Right.
That enabled, can't even think of his name now, the guy at Penn State.
Sandusky.
Yeah.
Sandusky. But this was one case in which the athletes and the fans, a lot of times fans are involved
That's right.
in NCAA probations, were being punished for something, let's call them the adults, did, and went to jail for it,
Yes.
as they should have. There was certainly enabling Sandusky. there was certainly no competitive advantage.
No.
If anything, it had to hurt.
Yeah.
There had to be some whispers and maybe kept a good player away from
Right.
Penn State.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is kind of the same thing here. This whole doctor thing, they certainly gained no competitive advantage. But if we don't know what happened, you got to always keep in mind the Duke lacrosse.
Yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
things like this
Right.
jump out. Who was Joe Oliva was the AD
Yes.
at the time, if you remember. But depending on what comes out again about I gather it will be covering up, these sexual assault allegations against football and basketball players. Well, that's different. Then the NCAA, to me, steps in more there than they should have at Penn State.
I'm in agreement with you on that. Responsibility, and we'll talk in the next two segments with McNeese president Dr. Darrell Burkell in regards to the responsibility of a university president, the athletic director, compliance officers, and coaches. Kevin,
But see, this
coaches have to know what's going on with
this-
it, and it's not easy.
and this-
Football has over 100 players you have to keep track of. Basketball, 15, 20, you got all these assistants. Baseball, the whole bit. It's not
And I'm just
easy.
wondering, when the first allegations came as to this sexual misconduct and sexual abuse, did the other allegations follow that, Rick? Or I guess the
Yeah, it
timeline
started
the
with the
timeline that I'm
gymnastics.
looking at, Rick, is that why does this pocket has to start for this pocket to continue? I mean, I get your point, but it's like, wait, what happened here? Why did it get fixed right here?
Gymnastics, according to the reports,
But why didn't it get
gymnastics
fixed right
has
there, Rick?
been going on for years. The allegations, the rumors, the problems, if you will. Nothing was done. That other pocket you're talking
Yeah.
about, you start watching the reports as they come out, and all of a sudden,
It's
people
like-
are talking that, wait a
Yeah.
minute, this has been going
That's-
on for about 3 or 4 years. Allegations, paperwork
And see-
has been filed against Michigan State's football and basketball.
But,
so
Rick-
the questions, and they're hard questions, and they need to be answered like we talked in the opening segment.
If they're smart administrators, why don't you deal with this? Why don't you deal with the gymnastics situation? Deal with it.
Well, deal with it all.
With it all, Rick. But you know what, Rick? This over here, Rick, is only going to make this bigger because you hadn't fixed this.
Look.
That's the thing that kind of pisses me off when I look at this and stuff as to how people come. If it happened, say it. If it happened, damn it, say it.
Say
it if it
right
happened.
thing. But then you start balancing the right thing against.
That's when it gets
How
wrong.
is this going to damage?
That's when it gets wrong, Rick.
the reputation.
Exactly, Rick.
The program, maybe it's involving some athletes they need to keep on the field. I'm hypothetical
Can you
now.
imagine how you can save your program by dealing with just the
but
gymnastics
there
itself?
again,
You save your program,
If
Rick.
you read, one of my common themes over the years is I kind of chuckle whenever some knucklehead player gets in trouble.
Yeah.
And he stands up
But
and
don't you
says,
like-
I made a mistake in
Yeah.
judgment. I'll learn from this, and this will be a lesson for others. It never is.
No.
Yeah.
Was Michigan State, Pennsylvania's right next to him.
Yeah.
They didn't watch that.
Right. Exactly. My point. Do the right thing. Look,
Yeah.
It's a
So
difficult.
they are.
But boy, when all of a sudden you can't tell me. Maybe at the upper level. Maybe it didn't get to the university president.
Rick,
so
the
chancellor-
gymnastics,
Well,
it
that's
was
fine.
known.
Well, that's big.
That was known,
That's-
Rick.
You're talking about USA
That's
Gymnastics.
how basketball and football all came in tied with that because that was known.
But the athletic
That should have
director
been.
and your head coach. Now some will say, well, D'Antonio, should he know and should he? Yeah. 15
Rick,
or
I
16
think-
players. If
I think they are.
Look, if allegations, that doesn't mean they're guilty.
Mm-hmm.
If it's enough allegations, yeah, he needs to know and step in and get this under control. Vis-a-vis Baylor, Art Briles.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. That was burning.
Well,
that was burning, okay?
look what happened at Baylor.
That was burning.
Hobbs, you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing it a long time. It's in the last 5 years, all right, since Penn State.
Yeah.
Remember Baylor? A
Yeah.
player was murdered.
Yeah.
Yes.
A basketball player. Is this a commentary of our society? The denigration of our society?
give me
No,
that.
I'm saying.
That's
No, what I'm
the
saying. No,
easy
what, no,
way
no, no,
out.
no. What I'm saying, Hobbs,
No.
is you've never covered stories of this massive scandals. You've never. Come on, Sandusky. You've never dealt
No.
with that.
No.
All
No.
right. This
When-
thing that's embroiled Michigan State. Never.
When we thought SMU was bad,
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a little money under the table.
we thought SMU was bad, right?
Holy smokes.
Okay,
That's
right.
tiddlywinks compared
We thought
to this
SMU
stuff.
was bad.
So the other question is, SMU got the death penalty.
Yes, they did.
How long were they out? 3, 4
10?
years?
No, I thought it was like 10.
Oh, I don't think it was that long.
Yeah.
Huh?
10?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't that long.
It was a good while.
5? It was more than 5,
All
huh?
right. Now they're talking,
Oh, they.
You know,
Rick,
now they're talking
what else
about
can you see come out of this but that?
I don't know, man.
What
All right, we're up
else?
against the
I
clock.
don't think we'll, I don't think we'll see another death penalty. But
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Whew,
All right,
that's some serious
We'll take
stuff
a
right
pause.
there.
We'll pivot. Coming up next, McNeese State University
Yes.
President Dr. Darrell Burkell on this subject and many more
Yeah.
pertaining to Cowboy athletics and the university. Stay right here. We're coming back in about a minute and a half.
Sound Off 60 is brought to you by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort. The boys in the box will be right back.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solar supply.
Only one light beer has more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. This one. Miller Lite. Hold true.
All right, let's welcome in McNeese State University President Dr. Darrell Burkell to the show. Second appearance on Sound Off 60.
Yes.
The timing is good because we've got a lot of subjects to cover with you, Darrell, in regards to Cowboy athletics, coaching staff, facilities, what's going on at the university, and the Michigan State story. Let's start there. This has to be the tragedy of Penn State and the tragedy of Michigan State. This has to be a nightmare for somebody in your position, be it small, medium, or these large universities, of trying to corral everything and all the things you have to deal with, but then keep the doggone campus safe for all students and the safety of students.
Right. This
has to be a nightmare for you.
Yeah, this type of system failure, and that's what it is. It's a system failure. Is something that you just dread, that something would happen. But always remember, there are people always embedded in the system that are supposed to make sure the policies and procedures of a system work. So this always comes back down to a people failure. People failed. So if the accusations about D'Antonio or these other coaches that had information or that were told things that they just squashed or put down, then that's where the failure comes. The failure comes when you were apprised of information that you have to try to figure out, is it credible? Is it something that we can, is it true? You know, you don't just go cocked, and people's reputations, people's lives are at stake. So these types of accusations come through, they have to be taken seriously. You have to recognize that as a university, there is a fidelity that you take on when that student athlete or any student comes into your campus. And there is a trust that parents have placed, and even those students have placed in coming to your university. So that has to be taken seriously. And you have to take any type of accusation they may bring forth, something that happened, seriously. And you have
give it its due diligence, right?
You have to give it its due diligence. You have to, make sure that it rises to the proper attention and to the proper position where you hear these things. What happens most times is, like you're saying, these things get squashed, right? Somebody says something and all of a sudden it gets tamped down. You have the Baylor situation where you have bad behavior that keeps being suppressed or just covered up. And so you have to put the kid ahead of the reputation of your school.
Yes.
It's
said.
It's never wrong to do the right thing.
Well said.
And so you can never, if you have the student athlete, the student at the heart of what you do, then you can't worry about your reputation. You can't worry about the coach's reputation or someone else's reputation, that this might hurt them. doing the right thing for a student is always the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I know you haven't been the president that long, but you've been on campus most of your life.
Sure.
When you hear, like when this story started breaking, do you start immediately checking all your closets and stuff on campus? What happens there?
Well, what you wind up doing is start looking at your own policies, your own procedures. Do students have a mechanism to get something like this to you? You know, who would they report this to? Would they report it to a coach? Would they report it to a trainer? Would they report it to the athletic director? You're relying on people in positions to make sure that these things are not dealt with in a way that minimizes what's taking place. But that they see it also, as you see it as the chief executive, that this is important and that this has to be brought to a level to where it has to be looked into and you have to know if this is true or not.
Yeah, and Darryl, what you say is so right, because just an example, as an elected official, there is protocol that we go through that, as you would know, is called the Louisiana Ethics Board. And they check what we do to make sure that we're following the guidelines of what we do as an elected official, that nothing's under the table, that nothing's not right. But when you look at a situation like this and you've got an incident, when you want to look at the gymnastics, that was being told to a number of people. But the thing, the failure, like you say, it's individuals that either minimized it or played it down. But then my question comes back, Darryl, what mechanism do you have in place to make sure that that person doesn't be the deciding factor to what that student told them to say if it's true or not? That's where I think the problem comes in. Why don't some universities, and the NC2A can't deal with that because it's an in-house situation, so therefore they're only going to be told so much as to how they can deal with it as the NC2A. But something has to be in place on campus, I think, that these players, students, can go to feel like what they're saying is going to be heard in a manner to where it's going to be taken serious.
Right. Well, before the start of every season, we have a student-athlete convocation where all of our student-athletes come together and we talk about these types of issues. We tell them if you have issues, you can take it to your coach. You can take it to the athletic director. We have a chief diversity officer on campus, Dr. Michael Snowden. You can take it right there immediately, and then he'll make sure that these types of incidents are looked into. So there are mechanisms that our students are informed about. And you know, we talk to our male athletes about, you know, how do you treat women? We talk, you know, I know Lance spends a lot of time with his young with those athletes that says, look, man, you know, you have responsibilities as a young man.
Most definitely.
And then you have to treat ladies right. And so they talk about that. So there is an ongoing education and information to students about the right things to do, and when the right thing doesn't happen, what outlets do you have to express your concern?
And I think, Darryl, what happens with that situation with the gymnasts at Michigan State, can you see how that program can damage not only that individual sport, but every sport at that university, just because of that one incident?
What do you think about the brand of Michigan State now? Go Spartans.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
And that's
It's unfortunate.
funny.
But Penn
Not
State
funny,
survived.
But
Penn State survived.
But it's tragic too, because in my mind anyway, the two head coaches, Izzo and D'Antoni, were two of the more not just respected but likable coaches in college athletics.
Right. And we don't know all the facts yet.
We don't.
They're not talking. They're not. They're getting a barrage of media questions, as they should, and they're not saying a whole lot. McNeese President Dr. Darryl Burkell has joined us. He'll stay with us for another segment. But in relation to what you said about McNeese's protocol and processes, should anybody with an allegation, should they not go off campus? Should they not go to outside
But that's
authorities?
what I was saying, Rick. That was my point.
I mean, why not?
That was my
In the case
point.
of Penn State or even Michigan State, it was the victims were going to the athletic officials and saying, I was assaulted. Would you,
let's face it, if there's something
Go to city
illegal
police.
that has taken place, if something has taken place that's illegal, you should have the right to go to the police department and report a crime that has taken place. Right? So, I mean, that is also an outlet that students have if they feel that not some sort of policy disagreement or something, but something that happened that should not have happened.
Yes.
That was criminal in
That
nature.
was something that was criminal in nature, and that's what the police will work on. If it's policy driven, they'll come back to us and
10
talk to us about it.
seconds or less, Daryl. In this environment in which we are living now, you wake up every day, is your main thrust educating or keeping a safe campus?
It's dual. I mean, you know, when you talk about a safe campus, you want to make sure that every student, every faculty member, every person that walks on that campus feels like they don't have to look over their back.
Yeah.
That there is a safe environment in place, that there is a culture in place that the right thing is going to be done.
Yes.
And so you have to build that culture.
Yes.
And so safety is a culture.
Every day. Huh?
Every day.
Every
It's
day,
something you're
every
vigilant
hour.
about every day, and that
Yeah.
when something rises up, you take it seriously and you act on it.
All right, we'll take a short time out. When we come back, we'll talk about Lance Guidry staying on as head football coach, Justin Hill contract, James Landreneau contract, facilities, baseball coming up, basketball, a lot to cover.
Yes.
Hang
Okay.
with us. We'll be back after this short time out. Stay right there.
Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at LeBerge Casino Resort, home of soundoff60. Round 5 with the boys coming up.
We are back with McNeese President Dr. Daryl Burkell. Going to get into some football, some basketball, and some
Yes.
baseball when it pertains to McNeese State University. Let's start with, boy, did you and Athletic Director Bruce Hempfield just kind of collect a sigh of relief and dodge that proverbial bullet, if you will, of retaining Lance Guidry?
Yeah, we're glad that Lance decided that he's going to stay at McNeese State University. Just looked at Southeastern. Just last week, their head football coach became the defensive coordinator at ULL.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not great timing.
Not great timing.
No, not at all. This late in
That
the
as
year.
much as anything right now.
Right now. I mean, this week, this Saturday is the third weekend in our visits, our recruiting visits, and then they start talking about signing, right? We're in
Exactly.
February.
Yes.
So that it couldn't have come at a worse time. But
Let
we're,
me play
glad.
hard-nosed reporter with you here.
Okay.
I asked Lance Guidry
No,
to go
never,
on the
sir.
record in regards to why the deal or the agreement or the job offer did not transpire. He chose not to get into detail. What do you know about it? Do you know why it didn't work out? Because obviously they were in serious discussions.
Well, they were in serious discussions, and it didn't work out. Is all Lance?
That's all he's telling you guys as well.
That's all, and that's all we need. It didn't work out. You know, we told Lance on the front end of this, Lance, you know, we want what's best for you and your family. These opportunities don't come around very often. D1 schools, Power 5 schools, such as Florida State. And so if you feel that this is an opportunity you want to look at and pursue, please do. But just make sure that, you know, you let us know as soon as possible so we can make our plans. And we did. You know, we had a plan in place.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we want the best for anyone who works with us. And if they believe that going to another university is best for them and their family, we're never going to stand in the way of that individual.
It's sitting in the ivory tower, so to speak, on the academic side of the campus. Did you get involved during it, or did you just keep it monitored?
Let it play out.
Yeah.
Just let it play out. What are we going to do? You know, I mean, Lance has another year on his contract. Heck, we have faculty members all the time that will go interview at other universities and decide, no, I'm going to stay
Yeah,
here.
but you know what the difference is.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You may be in
Yeah.
that
I
ivory
know.
tower, but you know enough
Yeah.
about the athletic
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
Right. But no, we just let it play out, and you know, naturally we wish it wouldn't have taken so long.
Yeah.
You know, that it
Yeah.
wouldn't have played out. It would have played out a lot sooner, as Lance had anticipated it was going to, but it didn't.
It's
So,
a little bit against the norm, Daryl, in that through experience, you know, in this business, when it goes over a week, and we were careful, at least I was on this panel.
We all
It
were,
was
we
like,
all were. We
we don't know if he's leaving.
we never said-
But odds are, when it stretches like that, that coach is gone.
Yeah.
But it didn't in this
And
case.
it,
was
no,
against the
no, it
norm.
didn't. And very much surprising too. But Daryl, when you look at it, I mean, you've got Justin Hill that's coming back. You're going to have James Landreneau. All of these coaches coming back.
Right.
Is that saying something for your program as a university to say, you know what, we're able to retain these coaches? Because in years past, when we heard word of a coach leaving, it was pretty much, he's gone.
Yeah.
But it's got to make you feel good as coming on as president to know that, you know, we're trying to meet the standard of what other universities and other universities around the country is doing. Because at the end of the day, Darryl, they want to be somewhere where they're going to feel their value is worth.
That's right.
And and Lance Guidry was one, I guess. It was a lot of awe to a lot of us to say, like, wow, who would step in and do the job that he's doing? And I guess that's a decision that he made with him and his family, and we're all glad that he's here. But there's going to come situations and times where there's going to be coaches that's going to leave.
It happens all the time. You know, one thing you find in coaching is there's nothing that's permanent.
No.
Everything is temporary for a while, you know, and you've hardly ever find coaches now that are staying places 10, 15.
Yeah.
You know, the Belichick type people who just stay
those
forever.
don't come
Those don't
around,
happen.
but
because good people are. The good thing is the one thing you know is that talent, good talent, always has alternatives.
Yes.
Always have people wanting them.
Yeah.
And so, if we have good talent here and we have other people wanting them, then we know we have the right people here, and we're going to do what we can to keep them here. But
exactly right.
there are times that we have limitations, resource limitations, and
You're
we
right.
have to be
Of
realistic.
what you can keep and what you can't.
I look at it as a supreme compliment that you can put a coach
That's
in
right.
and move coaches up.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be the place where people come to go to the next best job. But if we can track those kind of people and it happens, then so be it. But we want to do everything we can to retain them.
Yes.
We want them to be satisfied here. We want them to be content. We want them to feel like that they're doing, something that they love to do and that they can do it here.
Yeah.
And that they're being paid well, that they're secure in their position, and that these coaches feel like they can excel and that they can be successful here.
McNeese President Dr. Darryl Burkell is on the show tonight. Update us on the basketball arena.
It's looking good.
Arena. It's still slotted for spring of 18. Is that correct, or is it
fall of 18? It's
fall of 18.
Fall of 18.
Spring of 18.
June.
Okay.
We had a June opening date, but I think that may have slipped a month to July with the bad weather.
Looks good though.
Okay.
But it's looking good. It's coming along really well. The exterior is just about done.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been there, what, almost a year now, I guess, huh? Something like that.
Yeah, about 8 months, 9 months now. So
I think given your background as president, I think a lot of people probably thought you might have your hand more active in the athletic department. Do you feel like you have, or has it been about what you thought it would be?
No, I mean, we have an athletic director.
Yeah.
And just like I have deans, and we let them do their job.
Yeah.
And I'm there to lend support, to lend an ear, to at times maybe if I'm asked for advice, to give advice. But I feel more in a support role for all of those department heads, all of those deans, athletic directors that work under us to support them in what they're doing and support our coaches and our teams. So I've been about as involved as I guess I want to be. Because, I mean, I don't think I want to manage athletics.
But you've been real modest, too, about what you've been saying, too, Doc. Let me just say this for the record. When you're sitting in the press box or wherever you're sitting at, and when a bad call is made that you look at, do you scratch your head and say, wait a minute now, okay, I'm president, but I don't know if it would have went that way. What are your thoughts sometimes? You can't just let it go. You've done it for so many years. You've done it for so many years.
Have you been able to keep doing that? I know that's a hobby of yours. Have you been able to keep doing that pretty much?
Yeah, I was able to referee this year.
Really?
I missed 1 week.
Really?
We had some functions on a Friday night that I had to attend, our distinguished alumni. But other than that, I went all the way through the quarterfinals and the playoffs.
Okay, all right, then, Doug. You answered my question.
Good for you. Let's shift to baseball. Baseball is starting up. The Cowboys will host Wichita State in a 3-game set February 16th. The Cowgirls softball, by the way, 2 defending Southern Conference champion programs there, get cranked up against Virginia February 8th, something like that.
Yep.
An interesting revenue source is going to open up in both of the ball fields and the ballparks. Beer sales will not only be in the beer garden. They will now take over and be sold across the stadiums at Cowgirl Stadium and Joe Miller Ballpark.
That's right.
Is football next?
Football's going to be next. I mean, we're rolling it out here in our spring sports so we can make sure that all of the policies, all of the procedures that go into it can take place on a smaller scale so that we will have experience going into the football season.
Yeah.
And, you know, we visited UL that has beer sales. We visited some other places. We have some national consultants coming in to make sure that we do it right.
Yeah.
And that we, you know, that there's complete safety and regulations are followed. So.
Revenue in baseball too, and in football, in particular baseball, because of the pace of the game. You know, it's a revenue source, but it's also enhancing the game experience, which
Yes, it does.
you got to do anything you can to enhance game experience.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
who doesn't want to sit down and eat a hot dog and have
I
a
agree.
beer? You know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, we believe that people are going to be responsible about what they do.
Yes.
And you know, having beer throughout the you know, the grandstands is not something that's going to cause any risk to anyone or cause problems at our athletic events.
All right. Daryl, we appreciate you coming on.
Most definitely.
Thanks.
I want to ask you one more.
Make it quick.
question.
Referee, go ahead.
As president of the school, kind of what Kevin said, if you're watching and say a call goes against the Cowboys, given your hobby, refereeing, are you more sympathetic with them or are you more convinced, I know that's a bad call?
No, I know it's a bad call. When you see bad calls,
answer.
you know bad calls.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Yes.
Well, don't make any calls down to the field, all right?
No,
We'll let
I
little
don't do
Jerry
that.
Jones
No.
thing. All right, Daryl Burkell, we appreciate you coming
Thanks
on.
for
Always
having
a
me, guys.
pleasure.
I appreciate
McNeese
it.
State President Dr. Daryl Burkell. All right, short pause, and we'll come back. We'll wrap it up right here. Stay right there.
Sound Off 60 is brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort. Sound Off 60 24/7 online at soundoff60tv.com.
For more taste, less calories, and half the carbs, there's only one light beer to grab. Miller Lite. Hold true.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
All right, McNeese President Dr. Daryl Burkell left the fourth chair. Sarah joined us.
Yes, Sarah's here
Honey
with
in the
us.
fourth chair, and she's much better looking.
Yeah.
That's a quote. All right, I'm going on record. All right,
Doc's
Daryl-
okay with
Daryl
that.
be damned.
Doc's
all right?
okay with
All right,
that.
time to stump the wise guys.
All right,
Sarah is
here we
with
go.
us. I think we probably have 4 questions. Let's
Yes,
get
we
to
do.
it.
The New England Patriots
Uh-oh.
have played in 9 Super Bowl total, winning 5 of course. Can you name the 3 head coaches and the teams they led who have defeated the Patriots in the Super Bowl games?
One was the Packers.
Packers,
wasn't it?
definitely. Was that Brent Favre? Was that Favre?
Mike
Yeah, it
Ditka.
was Favre.
That was Favre.
Mike Ditka.
Yeah, Ditka.
Chicago.
in the 80s,
Chicago, right?
86 Bears.
That was the Bears. That was the
Okay,
big team.
New Orleans.
Manning.
'Cause I was there on that one. That's Mike Holmgren.
Mike Holmes.
Mike Holmgren.
Green Bay. Remember
Green Bay.
Brett Favre?
Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. And who was the other team?
Tom Coughlin. The Giants.
Coughlin, the
Oh, yeah,
Giants.
the
The
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah.
Right?
The Giants.
There were
Correct.
3 coaches.
Eli. Ugh. That throw.
Holmgren,
That throw.
Ditka, okay.
That throw at the end. Okay.
That was kind of a stumper.
The Philadelphia Eagles made 2 Super Bowl appearances prior to advancing with Sunday's win over Minnesota. Name the 2 coaches who guided the Eagles during those 2 previous Super Bowl games.
Oh,
Vermeil.
Dick. Who else?
Oh, gosh. That
Dick
was
Vermeil.
Donovan McNabb was the quarterback. That had to be Andy
Yeah.
Reid, huh?
Yeah,
Reed.
Andy Reid.
Reed.
Andy Reid,
Donovan
Dick
was the
Vermeil.
quarterback.
Forgot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donovan-
Wow.
Everybody
was
forget
thinking
that Donovan
this was-
McNabb was there.
I was thinking this was just their second.
No.
No.
Vermeil lost it. In New Orleans, I
All
think
right.
Ron Jaworski was the
Yeah,
quarterback.
They've never
Okay.
won one.
No, they have not won one.
4 legendary NFL head coaches have lost 4 times in the Super Bowl. Who are those 4 coaches with 4 Super Bowl losses?
Bud
Tom
Grant,
Landry.
Bud Grant.
Marv Levy.
Marv Levy. with
Bills.
Buffalo.
Wasn't Tom Landry?
4.
Tom Landry
Hold
wasn't
on, hold on. How many are we naming?
She said 4.
4. And we got only 2?
2. Tom Landry
It
wasn't
could
one?
have been with more than one team. too.
That's Don Shula.
Don
Shula
Miami,
lost
Miami.
with the Baltimore Colts, and he
no,
lost
it's not
several
Miami.
times with the Dolphins, but he
Really?
lost in Baltimore.
Tom
Don
Landry wasn't
Shula.
one of those guys? Wow.
No, not Tom Landry, Don Shula.
I know, but
No,
I
we
said
got
Tom
one
Landry
more.
wasn't
We
one?
got one more.
Wow. That was my guy. I was going with Tom
Holy
Landry.
moly. Levy, Grant, Shula.
Those old guys, man. I don't know those guys, man. Those are old guys.
I'm drawing a blank.
Scooter, you
Give
got
us
that
a
look
hint.
on your face like
Give
you
us
think
the
you know.
initials.
Give an initial.
DR.
DR. What?
Darryl
DR.
Royal.
No.
Give
DR.
us a
What
team.
can that be?
No.
D-
Don't give us a
D-
team.
Okay,
DR.
DR.
What is that?
I'm gonna a shot in the
DR.
dark. Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves.
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Denver.
all the Broncos.
Broncos
Denver
lost
Broncos.
a ton. Dan Reeves was
That was
right?
before I
You
got
shoulda
there.
known that.
No, that was before I got there.
Dan Reeves.
Shit,
Who
they
was
lost
your
3
coach?
times to. Shit, they lost 3 times
he
to the
lost-
Redskins.
He
They lost 3 times to the
and then he
Redskins,
lost
man.
with the Falcons.
Redskins.
Dan Reeves.
Matter of
Okay.
fact, our homeboy beat them bad. Doug Williams.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Bonus. Your bonus question.
Oh, there's a bonus.
Name only 3 head coaches to ever lose a Super Bowl for 2 different teams. Only 3 in history of the Super Bowl. Do you know who they are and name the losing teams they coached?
Shula, we just named. I thought did we just answer that?
Shula with Colts.
Oh,
and-
losing with different teams?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Reeves.
No.
But yeah, he lost with the Broncos and Falcons. She said lost.
Oh,
Losing.
that's
Yeah.
right.
And how many
And
we
one,
got? We got
3,
only
just
3?
3. So what else would
Shula,
it be?
Reeves
Shula, Reeves, and who else?
lost the Super Bowl coaching 2 different teams. Parcells?
Bill.
No, he lost 1.
I don't know. That's a tough one, man.
Man.
That's kind of going back,
Initials.
man.
Initials. We're cheating.
Y'all name 2 of them.
Right.
Okay.
Last one, his initials are JF.
JF.
Oh, Jeff Fisher.
Jeff.
No.
Oh, no, wait.
not
No
that
way. It's
one.
not Jeff Fisher, no.
I think she's got us.
Jeff-
We're running out of time.
Who?
JF.
F? JF.
JF.
Who is
That's
that?
a good
JF.
guess, though. We're stopped.
We're gonna have to give this one up.
John Fox lost leading
John
Carolina
Fox,
and Denver.
man.
God.
John Fox. How
has
can we
been to
not
2
get
Super
that?
Bowls?
Carolina and who was the other?
Denver, I guess.
Denver,
Holy
yeah.
Denver.
smokes.
John Fox. How
Sarah,
did
we
we not get that? Sarah,
appreciate
great
it.
job.
She stumped us.
She
It
did on
doesn't
that
happen
very
often,
last
but the
one, though.
lovely
On that
Sarah
very
stumped
last
us.
one. That's
right,
all.
As we go, look, Jason Day, my favorite player on PGA,
Yeah.
took a day and a half to win Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
You got it. Look, Tiger Woods, 3 under.
Looks strong.
No pain.
Looks strong.
Couldn't hit a fairway to
No,
save
but he
his
looks
life.
strong, though. He looks
But
strong.
I'm telling you, if the back holds, I think he's got to run in a major.
Woo!
I
You think
do.
so, huh? You still giving him hope,
I
Rick? I'm
do.
one
You
Tiger.
guys have been-
I have
you
not
guys
X'd
have
him
been
out.
killing
but
me over this
with
prediction.
all the surgeries that he's had, wow.
I'm telling you, I think he's got it in.
Wow.
Patriots win by 3. You with me or not?
No. Philly win by 7.
You're going Philly?
Philly
going
win by
Philly.
7. Philly
Holy
win by
smokes,
7.
You guys are
That
nuts.
defense, Rick. It's
Sarah,
that defense, Rick.
But
Tom
How
Brady.
do you pull
It's that
for either
defense.
team?
It's that defense.
In this
I
case,
said that
Tom
earlier,
Brady.
okay? Wow.
Sarah, we appreciate it. Have a great
Poor
show.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Have a great Super
Poor
Bowl
Tom,
week,
huh?
everybody. We'll see
Yes.
you next time.
Soundoff 60 airs on Suddenlink Cable Channel 4 Monday through Sunday nights at 9 and again Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10. Soundoff 60 also airs throughout Southwest Louisiana on Vive Broadband Channel 6 at 9 p.m. Check your local listings. Post your questions and comments for the guys and access our website and our great advertising partners at soundoff60tv.com.